Here we have a Dell AX510 speaker bar. These mount onto certain Dell monitors, such as the ST2320L. Now it's a pretty decent speaker bar. Works pretty well. I have one actually currently attached to my monitor right now. Now with this monitor, it comes with mounting clips that allow it to be mounted to your monitor. However, these clips are broken, so I can't really mount it to my monitor. I told the seller, he sent me a replacement and told me to keep this one. I reckon they had just tons of these just lying around. I just wanted to get rid of them because I picked it up for a decent price as well. I think it was close to like $15. Once I got my replacement, confirmed that one was working, threw this one under my bed and just, forgot about it. Until I came across it over the weekend and thought I'll do something with it. I really hate having electronics just laying around and going to waste. Now with the AX510, the speaker bar, there is this one annoying flaw. Now this flaw is instead of having a female input jack or plug or something, it has a male DC plug for input of power, which I find weird. And I'm not going to spend over $10 for a special Dell power adapter for this thing. But in my home, I only have 12 volt power adapters that connect to devices through a male to female connection. This speaker bar has a volume control knob, which also acts as an on and off switch, and two headphone jacks, which are 3.5mm each. Now my plan for this video is to show you a way of converting the male DC power plug into a female connection, a female plug. I found this DC inline switch while I was rummaging through some spare parts and components in my shed, and I think it'll do the job in helping me to replace the DC plug of the speaker bar. Turning it into a standard device, begin by cutting off the DC male plug from the speaker bar. Then I move on to basically removing the covering that protects the wires. However, if you can see, I messed up here. I ended up removing not only the covering but also the protecting covering of the wires for both positive and negative. So I ended up using a knife to split the cable into two, splitting the red and the ground wires, and then essentially just peeling it like a banana or something. I then ended up exposing the wires of each ground and positive, twisting each end so the wires don't, go out of hand, become messy, frail around. Then I did the same thing for the DC inline switch, cutting off the male end, trimming it, and then getting the ground and positive wires exposed with the ends twisted. I then joined the ground wires together, the ground from the speaker and then the ground from the inline switch. Soldered them so they stay in place. Gave it a quick tug so I could make sure they don't come apart. Then I did the exact same thing with the positive wires from both the speaker and the inline switch. I then used some electrical tape to isolate the exposed soldered bits. Then I use more duct tape to cover the area. Gave it a quick squeeze to make sure the tape will stick, and a quick tug to make sure it doesn't come apart. Now it's time for testing. Got my hands on a 12 volt DC power plug with the current rated at 2 amps, and boom, speaker turns on. How brilliant is that? Even the inline switch works. Time to also test out if the speakers actually function. And lucky for me, they do. Now this little modification, this hack, or whatever you want to call it, isn't limited to just this speaker. In theory, it should work with any similar design speaker, any speaker bar that's like operating at 12 volts. Again, the only reason I did this was to get rid of that male end and put in a female end, since I didn't want to pay like over $10 for a Dell made 12 volt power adapter. And hey, it works. Got a speaker bar that works. I can now use it for a lot of things, such as like a speaker dock for my phone, which I could use for like an alarm or listen to music casually in my room. That's all I got for you today. Please subscribe, check out my Patreon. Thanks for watching. Toodaloo!